Our headlines today. A call for a ban on disposable vapes. Councils in England say they cause litter problems and appeal too strongly to children.
As tens of thousands of actors go on strike in Hollywood, warning the action could continue into next year.
No end to the searing heat in southern Europe. Forecasters say a second heatwave is on the way.
And there will be a new name on the winners' board at Wimbledon later. In the women's final, it's Ons Jabeur and Marketa Vondrousova battling for their first Grand Slam title.
A deep area of low pressure will continue to bring unusually windy weather for July. During the course of this weekend, heavy showers, thundery downpours and temperatures a little below par.
The United Kingdom's Health Security Agency has warned that tens of thousands of measles cases could impact London due to low levels of vaccination. Calculations suggest an outbreak could affect between 40,000 and 160,000 people. The agency said that was, quote, urgent to vaccinate children, teens and young adults.
First concert of the proms season last night was disrupted briefly when Just Stop Oil demonstrators ran on stage at the Royal Albert Hall. The campaign group said it had targeted the event because of what it described as the BBC's underwhelming coverage of the climate emergency. Shall we have a look at today's papers?
Yes, so some of the front pages for you this morning, Saturday morning, of course, Daily Mail, focusing on the challenges being faced by holidaymakers heading for mainland Europe this summer. Airport strikes, rising prices and a heatwave in many popular destinations.
Yeah, looking at The Guardian, it's reporting on a surge in clients for a gambling addiction clinic. It says the National Centre for Gaming Disorders was expected to treat 50 people a year, but has instead been seeing 30 people a month.
Let's move on to The Telegraph. Carries a story about pressure being put on the government to scrap the so-called tourist tax, which stops visitors to Britain from outside the EU claiming back VAT on their shopping. Designer clothing firm Burberry is among those calling for change.
And The Eye newspaper leads on a story about what it calls toxic levels of lead in school drinking water. So the paper's carried out a 4-month investigation and says few councils in England know which schools even have lead pipes.
Just a couple of thoughts from some of the inside pages for you. I'm reading from the Daily Mail, Dr. Michael Mosley, who people know from his TV series, doing a lot of stuff about health. He's talking about how your voice changes over time and the difference between men and women. So the experts say that with women, this is according to it's an organisation I've never heard of, the Mammal Vocal Communication and Cognition Research Group at Sussex University.
Can't believe you've never heard of that.
It's quite a title, isn't it? So they were looking at mothers particularly, recording how their voices changed before and after pregnancy. And the voice, this is based on what Adele said as well, apparently, is the voice drops quite a lot, gets a lot lower, whereas men, on the whole, as they get into their 50s and 60s, the voice gets higher and more high-pitched. So this is quite well evidenced. What can you do about improving your voice and keeping it going well? It says you can sing in the shower, which the steam is very good. You can blow bubbles through a straw into liquid, kind of thing you did when you were a child. That apparently is very good. Also, if you're using a straw, you hum while with a straw in your mouth. OK, and
what are you trying to do? Make your voice better?
Yes.
OK, all right, interesting.
So try those 3 things and all those things will help.
We'll get some straws. We can have a little practice. Another little story, this is in the Times, talking about allotments in the office. Of course, we've talked a lot about people home working. People are struggling, offices are struggling to get people back into the office. So one suggestion is to allow people to have an allotment in the office. I guess that's, you've got to go in there, you've got to tend to it. You can even grow your own salad, grow your own lunch.
Do you mean indoors?
Well, indoors, outdoors, I guess wherever there's space.
Grow your own lunch?
Grow your own lunch, why not?
What would you grow?
Lettuce for your salad.
What we do, I'm looking forward to that already.
Some tomatoes.
No, I think it's a very good idea. Apart from anything else, as you say, the benefits of a green space is something to do. It sounds quite constructive.
What about when you go off on leave, though? Couple of weeks, who are you going to task with looking after your lettuce?
A lot of allotments, you'd share the burden, wouldn't you, of the work involved?
It could work.
Might work.
It could work.